We are doing an adventure roundtable with Marsha Salzman, and let me stop sharing and we will give the time over to her.
Sean, can I interrupt and see if our translator Cecilia Franco is online? Cecilia, are you there?
We don't have her at this time.
Doesn't seem to be.
So we will
go right on then.
And it's now to you, Miss Marsha.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I want you to get a pencil. I want to give you my phone number. I don't think it's on the screen anywhere. I want you to be able to call me. Let's first just do a short overview about the adventurers. Well, let me tell you something about me first. I've been in adventuring for pretty close to 30 years. I was, and several other people were, pioneers in starting the adventurers in the ARKLA Conference. One was Regina Wilson, and there probably are one or two more that I don't know about. But we started out with absolutely nothing, no patches, no manual instruction of any sort. We just had to, sometimes when you can't swim, you have to jump in the deep end. And so that's kind of what we did. Anyway, I've been director of clubs, and I'm a master guide, and I am a member of the Adventure Hall of Fame. And I have had lots of experience, so call me if you have a question or an issue. If you have a pencil, take my phone number, 501-229-3297. 501-229-3297. Text me. I will send you my address and email account, although I stress I only looked at my email account about once a week. So text me would be a great idea. I hope that you have a director's packet. This is an adventurer's director's packet. You can get one from the conference office. It is full of information you need. Get one. There are phone numbers. There are places you can learn about uniform. There's places you can learn about how adventurers work, insurance, all kinds of things. So be sure that you get. Yes, sir.
It's also available on the conference website.
Yes.
And it's being updated with your contact information as we speak.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, so get that from the conference office. Very important to have. Lots of information here. Let's talk about adventurers for a minute. Adventurers from the top down is a North American division program, and it comes to us through our conference, our Arkansas Louisiana conference, through the president on down to the youth department, through David Craig, and then from there, of course, to adventurer directors and staff members. Also, there is a Pathfinder Adventurer Council that is made up of area coordinators and representatives from your area that represent you. There are 4 areas in the Arkansas Louisiana Conference. There's North Arkansas, Central Arkansas, Southern Arkansas and Northern Louisiana, and Southern Louisiana. Each of those areas has an area coordinator that will help you, even come see you in your club, no doubt. These are things that are set up for you as you are getting started and as you need any kind of help at all. Those things are there for you. In the director's packet, you will note that there are forms to fill out for staff, for staff members have to fill these things out. Oh, there's, yay, here we go. And then you will note that you must fill out Adventist screening verification. This is training and a background check. You have to do this as a staff member, as a director. And then you will find other items in there that you will need to fill out. You will need to send some of those to the conference office. Always make a copy to keep for yourself so that you know what you have sent. There are items about the uniform. There are items about insurance, and Adventist Risk Management has provided for us in recent times short-term travel and recreational sports insurance. In other words, you can have insurance if you're going to leave your clubhouse. It's nice to know that you're covered with insurance from the church if anyone should be hurt or be compromised somehow. There's also part of our club requirements is that we do certain emergency drills, and that the information for that also is right here on the front, actually the front page. Support, it's called support information, and there are phone numbers and things that you can have. At the very bottom, be sure to note Adventist screening verification. The very last line there, you must do that, fill it out. They will send a copy of that background check to your church and to the conference office. And if you want to, you can print out a copy for yourself. And that would be good to have. I just got a reminder a week or so ago that mine had expired, so I'll be doing mine along with yours. So we want to get that done. That's part of our paperwork. But I will say, beyond the paperwork and beyond all of those things that are required, the local adventurer club is where it's at. We want to see a director and some staff members in place, somebody who loves those children. I want to just say right here, I have become aware, it seems to me, when the disciples asked Christ what would be the sign of his coming, he gave them several signs. And we are seeing so many things happen these days. Endless fires in California, hurricanes right on our shores. Well, those not so unusual. Earthquakes in Haiti again, buildings falling down in Florida, a worldwide pandemic that just won't go away. Jesus said, watch for signs. Some of these things are not all that unusual, but when it happens all at once, we need to pay attention. We need to encourage each other. We need to hold our children close. We need to make sure that our children know that God loves them and that he is the source of any and every good thing in our lives. You will notice, I don't know if that's on this page or not. Yes, probably so. You will be sure to take note which items in the packet require you to send those things to the conference office. I'm just reading my notes here. I don't want to forget anything. Let's also remember that the information that is filled out for the children will contain some medical information, and this is private. Medical information is private. That's not for every eye to see, but it's important for you to know whether they are allergic to peanuts or whether they have an asthma condition or things of that sort. But please remember that those are private. That is private information. We have to have staff members fill out forms. Those have to be turned in and put, and we also check everything. We check our staff application forms. They list references, and we have to due diligence check those references. I think it's very important to go to the church board so that they know who your staff members are. I've been, I think it's important, and there are forms in the packet to be used for these things. Make a plan for your year. What do you want to accomplish for the year? Make a plan for each month. Make a plan for each meeting. It's very important. I think it's important to have a routine, and if you establish those routines, they can be your friend, and they will work for you if you work with them. It's important to have a good team. Pick the very best people for your staff that you can find. I have to laugh at this. Sometimes men seem to be less agreeable to working with adventurers than they are with Pathfinders. I think it has something to do with camping and so forth and so on. I would hate to think that men are afraid of little children. I'm joking, of course. I've had, this year we are, but children do need to see that both men and women are interested in being their friends and being in activities with them. So pick your very best team. Be sure you get all your paperwork done. There are certain things that need to be turned in at certain times to the conference. And so you'll want to be aware of that. And that's in your adventurer packet. We have 6 classes. We have Little Lambs, which are the preschoolers. We have Eager Beavers, which are kindergartners. And then the other 4 classes go along with the grade level at school: 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade. We go by grade, we don't go by age. The materials that we use are grade appropriate. And so we go by grade, we go by grades. That's our conference policy. I want to say something about discipline. Sometimes children will be rowdy, and you may wonder, what am I going to do here? But discipline is never. I have never had any problems with discipline as long as you are ready for your meeting and you have something fun and interesting for them to do. I would advise you to never go to your meeting unprepared. You may have dishes sitting in your sink, but be prepared for your club meeting. Sometimes you may have to take a child aside and talk to them. It's not appropriate to be angry with the child. They're just children. God's not angry with us. He remembers that we're just flesh. So it's not appropriate to be angry with the child. You just need to know what it is that's the problem or what they need. Order and prep in the meetings will take care of 99% of any problems you will have with discipline. You have to respect your children. You have to speak with them as if you do love them and respect them. Order and preparation in your meetings is essential. You need to be on time or be early. You need to be early. You need to be ready for your meeting. You start your meeting on time. You won't have people dragging in if you start your meeting on time, and have some order. We were talking earlier in the day about having a routine and having a schedule. Make a schedule for your, it's pretty easy to make a schedule for your meeting. For example, Hot Springs Adventures just started last Wednesday evening, and our schedule went something like this. We welcomed each child as they came in. We provided a place for them to sit down. We had opening exercises of the law and the pledge to the flag and the pledge to the Christian flag and so forth. And we had our adventurer song. We welcomed everyone. Then we had a devotional time. We had a retired pastor come and give us our devotional. He talked to them about some things he had found that were early tools that Indians use. It was interesting. And then we took prayer requests. We had prayer, and then we lined up at the door and we went outside because the weather is still wonderful. We are at school, and so we have a playground we can access until the days get so short that it'll be dark out there. And then we will have games in the gym, or we'll have games in the classroom. We have, I hope that you have a good place in mind where to hold your adventure meeting. Even if you have to share space with a Sabbath school room, it's all right. Just get a cabinet or something that you can keep your things in separate from theirs, and be a good citizen of the room. Always keep it straight and neat for Sabbath school. After they came in for play, they had a drink and got settled in. We started working on a patch together. For the first couple of meetings, we all meet together. If you are not familiar with the different classes, each class has awards that they have to do that refer to their class. And then there are other awards that you can do, anyone can do, no matter what class you're in. And so we chose one of those, and we began working on an awards patch. We worked on that for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then after that, we had a little game that we played. And then pretty soon it was getting toward the time to go home. We meet from 6 to 7:30, and about 7:25, we had refreshments. And because of COVID, the refreshments that we have are prepackaged. They are, you buy them from the grocery store. You don't try to make cookies or cupcakes or things of that sort in this particular environment. Let's talk about COVID for a little bit. And there's another thing. We always ask the parents to come get them in the adventure classroom. We want to know who they're leaving with. It's important to know who they're leaving with. Never let a child just go out the door in the dark and get in a car. We ask the parents to come get them so we know who they left with and when they left. COVID interrupted us big time last year. The church was completely shut down. And we went to church virtually like we're doing right now for quite a while. Finally, the church opened up again, and we were able to go sitting distance-wise. Our pews were blocked off checkerboard fashion so that you didn't have anybody where you were sitting. You didn't have anybody in front of you or behind you or beside you. It was interesting. And of course, we all wore masks and so forth. I'm hoping, although it just seems to drag on and on, I'm hoping that we have a respite from this and that we can have an actual year this year. What we are doing is we are following whatever we have a school at Hot Springs. We are following whatever the school does. If the school wears masks, we will wear masks. If the school is put on virtual, we will not be meeting at the school either. If they're not meeting at school, we're not meeting at school. And speaking of that, some of you are able to have virtual adventure meetings last year. We did not do that. There are other things you can do. You can get your material together and you can send packets home with your adventure children. And then you can, especially if they are coming to church for a short time on Sabbath, you can meet with them a little bit then. But it's very difficult. But just can't give up. These are our children. They need each other. They need adult people to be interested in them, and they need to know that life's going to go on regardless of COVID or anything else. They need to know that God is with us and that He will watch over us. In these times especially, need to hold our children close, encourage each other. I would like if you have people who can do it, that you can assign duties to. If you can make somebody responsible for keeping track of the yearly calendar, somebody responsible for outreach activities. Don't forget birthdays. If you have a birthday in the club, and undoubtedly you will, we've been having, we usually, at the last meeting of the month, we usually recognize birthdays and maybe have a little special treat or a little special present to pass along. And don't forget holidays. It's good to note Christmas and Thanksgiving and things of that sort. And
Marsha, we've got
Yes.
a 5-minute warning. Just wanted to let you know that you got 5 more minutes.
okay, all right. Well, let me just stop and see if anybody wants to ask something. Does anybody would like to just ask something else? I knew I was supposed to start at 1:15, but I didn't realize I only had just a very short time. Thank you for interrupting me. Is there a question?
So the question I have here is, what is the most rewarding thing about working with Adventist?
What's the most important thing?
Rewarding or important, those were both the same.
The most important thing is to remember that they are Jesus's kids and that they need to know him, and then they need to know that he is the source of every good thing that will happen in their lives, and that he is always with them no matter what. Even if they do something bad, they don't need to worry. Jesus still loves them just like their parents love them. You can't do anything where Jesus will not love you. Jesus will love you no matter what. And that's what we want to pass along. Also, our motto is fun with a purpose. That is what our motto is in our class, in our club. Good luck to you this year. Keep on keeping on. We want the adventurers to be there. Anyone else?
There was a question that I had that they wanted to know, how many years have you been doing adventure?
Oh, about 30 years.
And then you were saying that you started or helped start the adventure program here in Arkansas.
Yes, Joe and Sherry Watts were in the youth department at that time, and they were interested in Arkansas and Louisiana having that program here. And so they asked several people if they would pioneer that ministry. And so my husband was already in Pathfinders, and so they asked me if I would consider working on adventurers. And so I know Regina Wilson did also in Baton Rouge, and we are also very fortunate to have Joyce Fortner in Little Rock, who is a member of the NAD committee for adventurers. And so she is a great resource for items as well. And don't forget your area coordinators. They will help you if you have questions or if you have need of some extra help.
So I put your phone number in the chat, and let me just
Thank you.
repeat it to everyone. It's 501-229-3297. Is that correct?
Correct. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you, everybody, for working with adventurers.
let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break, and let's get everybody reset, and we will take and start back up at 1:45.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.